Hello everyone, Ramya, Assistant Professor of CSE Department from Rohini College of Engineering and Technology, subject code CS3352, Foundations of Data Science, Unit 2, topic Types of Data, Types of Variables. Types of data. There are three types of data: qualitative data, ranked data, quantitative data. First, we are going to see the qualitative data. It consists of words yes or no, letters y or n, or numerical codes 0 or 1 that represent a class or category. The next one is ranked data. It consists of numbers first, second, up to 40th place that represent relative standing within a group. The next one is quantitative data. It consists of numbers, weights. For example, you consider weight. The weight represented as a number that represent an amount or a count. To determine the type of data, focus on a single observation in any collection of observations. Next, we are going to see the types of variables. That means a variable is a characteristic or property that take on different values. For example, the weights can be described not only as a quantitative data but also as observation for a quantitative variable. For example, by the same token, the replies can be described as observation for a quantitative variable since the replies to the Facebook profile questions take on different values of either yes or no. The next one is discrete and continuous variable. A discrete variable consists of isolated numbers separated by gaps. Discrete variables can only assume specific values that you cannot subdivide. A continuous variable consists of numbers whose values, at least in theory, have no restrictions. Continuous variables can assume any numerical value and can be meaningful split into smaller parts. The next one is independent and dependent variables. First one, we are going to see the independent variable. That means it is the treatment manipulated by the investigator. Here the independent variable are the ones that you include in the model to explain or predict changes in the dependent variable. Independent indicates that they stand alone and other variable in the model do not influence them. Independent variables are also known as predictors, factors, treatment variables, explanatory variables, input variables, x variables, and right-hand variables because they appear on the right side of the equal signs in a regression equation. It is a variable that stands alone and is not changed by the other variable you are trying to measure. For example, someone's age might be independent variable. Other factors such as what they eat, how much they go to school, how much televisions they watch. The important creation of distinct groups which differ only in terms of the independent variable has a most desirable consequence. Once the data have been collected, any difference between the groups can be interpreted as being caused by the independent variable. Next one is dependent variable. That means when a variable is believed to have been influenced by the independent variable, it is called as a dependent variable. In an experiential setting, the dependent variable is measured, counted, or recorded by the investigator. The dependent variable is what you want to use the model to explain or predict. The values of this variable dependent on other variables. It's also known as the response variable, outcome variable, and left-hand variable. Graphs place dependent variables on the vertical or y-axis. A dependent variable is exactly what it sounds like. It is something that depends on other factors. Consider the example, the blood sugar test depends on what food you ate, at which time you ate, etc. Unlike the independent variable, the dependent variable is not manipulated by the investigator. Instead, it represents an outcome, the data produced by the experiment. Last one is confounding variable. An uncontrolled variable that compromises the interpretation of a study is known as a confounding variable. Sometimes a confounding variable occurs because it's impossible to assign subjects randomly to different conditions. Thank you.